You're listening to the greatest multifamily investment advice show. My name is Adam Ross, and now I'm talking everything multifamily for an in-depth conversation, and I will be diving deep into raising capital, deals, and underwriting process. Welcome back to the greatest multifamily advice show. Today we have Mike Johnson, real estate investor and realtor out of Hamilton region of Ontario, focused on scaling his portfolio from 40 doors within 5 years, high-performing realtor closing more than hundreds and hundreds of deals on Hamilton region. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for being with us today. I appreciate you taking the time.
Of course. Yeah.
So, Mike, your career as a realtor on Hamilton market, I think, was an edge to scale your business. But before we jump to the realtor part, can you tell me what was the beginning? What was the motivation to start as a realtor and investor, and especially learning multifamily real estate?
Yeah. So I'm not from Ontario originally. I'm from the East Coast. I moved from Halifax to do my master's up here. And I thought doing my MBA and getting a corporate job was my ticket in life. And it was probably about 5 minutes of sitting in that cubicle, looking around at all the faces of people that were running the company I was working for at the time, that I realized, not for me. I need to get the hell out of there and get out ASAP.
Yeah.
So I was almost like you ever see that show Prison Break?
Yeah.
It was almost like I was in
you're trying to escape.
My cubicle was my prison, and I was pretty efficient with my work. I would try and get it done by noon, and for the remainder of the day I was reading books, reading articles, and trying to figure out how I personally could escape from prison. And I stumbled upon real estate, and while I was at this corporate job, I read a couple of the RAIN books, Real Estate Investment Network. One was The Acre System. And I'm not one to sit around and think for a long period of time. What I read in that book made a lot of sense to me. So I took action immediately. I would go, my desire to escape that corporate environment was so strong. Every lunch I would go to a bookstore and read magazines and books. And there's a Canadian Real Estate Investing magazine. And I noticed Oshawa and Hamilton kept popping up as the top places to invest in the country. And my wife, every day on the way to work, would listen to this podcast called Breakthrough Real Estate Investing Podcast. And there are two hosts. One was from Oshawa. I called that guy first. He didn't answer my call. Second guy I called was Sandy McKay from Hamilton. And the rest was history. Started buying real estate down here in 2016. I think I got my license in 2017. Moved down here in 2018.
So you were listening back to Halifax. You were staying in Halifax, and you decided to move from Nova Scotia to here.
Yeah, that was to do my master's. At that point, investing in real estate wasn't really on my radar.
Okay.
So
what is the master about? Business or?
Business, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're coming from the same market anyway. So so why multifamily?
Originally I didn't invest in multifamily. I think my old job, I was making $60,000 a year, and literally the only thing me and my wife could afford were single family homes in Hamilton. So at that time they were trading for $250,000 a pop. So the numbers actually made sense back then. And my wife bought the first one. She put 5% down. We rented that out, and then I bought the second one maybe 2 months later. Put 5% down, rented it out. And at that point, friends and family and acquaintances got interested about this little side hustle we had going on. And since that point in time, every deal we've done has been with other people's money. So I think we did one more in a single family home. And then from there, I met the people I work with today, and the game they play, it's buy, renovate, refinance.
Adding value.
So we've probably done, 15 deals since we got started in 2016, and the lion's share of those are buy, renovate, refinance, anywhere from say 3 units up to 6.
So you still own this property? Is it still the single family homes, or you sold it already?
I got rid of 2 of them, I think.
2 of them, okay. So
Yeah.
what is your target market right now and criteria, like number wise, cap rate, cash on cash, like what is your magic numbers? And
Honestly, I don't really I don't look at that.
okay,
Unless I'm working in the commercial space, yeah.
yeah,
In that
yeah,
situation, cap rate's really important.
yeah,
But if I'm buying your typical residential 3 to 4 unit house, I look at what's the entry, how much is it going to cost me to get it from where it is today to where I need it to be. And the two people I care about when I say where I need it to be, I care about what my appraiser thinks of the house, and I care about what my tenants think of the house. In my mind,
okay.
those are the only two people that matter. And then from there, I take a look at comps and estimate where I think the value of the property will be after the renovation is complete.
Okay. So
And yeah, I
no,
was
no,
just
no.
gonna
Go
say
ahead. Go ahead. No, I was just,
my
I was trying to ask about something about single family and multifamily, but go ahead.
yeah. So my goal with the buy renovate refinance is always to pull out all of my capital, and I want the building to cash flow. So as long as those two things add up, I get all my money back, down payment, renovation, holding costs, and it will cash flow. I'm good to move forward.
So you're still focusing on the single family home with joint ventures. You're focusing only on GVs, you're bringing the deal, you're doing the hustle 50-50, or like what is the actual structure for the deal?
Yeah, so no more single families. I haven't done one of those in years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the only thing we'll buy are apartment buildings, or
Oh, okay.
I'll buy single families, convert to legal duplex or triplex,
Yeah. Okay.
or I'll buy existing legal duplex and triplex.
And it's very famous, I think, in Hamilton, the 2-story and 2.5 stories.
Yeah, we get the 2.5 story bricks and then
Yeah.
pop.
Convert to 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 And about the multifamily, right now you're making the structure based on GPLP. So you're the general partner and you're bringing limited partners to the deal, or regular joint venture?
Standard joint venture. So I source the deal, I manage the project, I manage the property over the course of its lifetime that we own it. The partner simply provides the money.
Okay.
And deals are split 50-50.
Split 50-50. Okay. So I see your business model relies on local Hamilton stock market, or like the actual inventory of Hamilton or around areas, or I'm mistaken? Are you working on the rest of Ontario, like Kitchener, London, or you're just focusing on Hamilton, Niagara region?
Hamilton only.
Hamilton only. So what was your largest deal so far, like size and price wise?
Size, I've gone up to 6 units, the most we've done, and I think we got in at 1.2.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah. When was that?
We bought that maybe a year ago.
Okay. So 200. Okay, that's good price. So what was the actual strategy there? Like adding value and refinance?
Yeah, exactly. So we bought the building at 1.2. It's going to be a lot more expensive than I expected, to be honest with you. The place has been a bit of a nightmare, but
the renovation cost?
They can't all be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We went in, we were thinking it was going to be 350. It's going to be closer to 500.
Wow.
I anticipate the building's probably going to appraise close to $2 million. Yeah.
So it says almost 70 per unit, which is in total you paid 270 per unit, correct? Yeah, 270.
I don't think it was that high.
70 for renovation and 200 for the actual cost.
Let me take maybe about 200 and then 500 over 6. Yeah, we're about 85 grand.
Yeah, 85. Yeah, 85 with 200 is an initial investment, which is 285 per unit.
Yeah, so I think we paid $1,150,000 for the building. will be about 500 for the reno, or 165 over 6 units, 275.
275. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the actual project timeline here to finalize and do the refinance?
It's been pretty nasty, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's been a battle. We were a good 6 months just to get permits.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
And
permits?
then,
Permits for construction, you mean?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So this building was in horrible shape when we bought it. So it's for 6 months, it was sitting on a private mortgage.
Okay.
Chewing 8% interest a month.
8%.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's high. It's high
so,
interest rate. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're probably going to be, I would say, another 6 months before it's done.
Okay.
You're looking at a year and a half.
And you're planning to pull out how much money from the deal?
I'm thinking this one, it's going to be the first one I've ever left money in. I think we'll be a couple $100,000 left in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But because, as you said, it's a tough time, and it's taken too much time for the actual permit, at least. So what was the upside as a deal?
I mean, the upside of the deal, when I originally looked at it, it looked like we were pulling all of our capital out, and it's located in one of the best areas in Hamilton. It's close to Locke Street.
Okay.
So once it's done, it will be the Cadillac in my portfolio. It's taken a lot of pain to get it there. Yeah. A couple things that are really hurting. One is obviously the renovation's more expensive than we expected.
Yeah.
But number two, all of these, every building in the commercial space is valued based on net operating income and cap rates.
Yeah.
What's happening in the world right now, interest rates are going up. Every 100%. Time the interest rates go up, it impacts my net OI in a negative way. It means my appraisal is going down and down and down every time there's a rate increase.
Yeah. So what was the initial NOI for the project? The initial existing one?
That's a good question. I'd have to look at the numbers. Offhand, I don't know. I have a spreadsheet though.
No worries. I know it's a long process to do the underwriting, to check the existing NOI and your proposed or future NOI, to understand how much value you're gonna add, because you're spending a lot, $500,000 on renovation. But it's like almost because of the new the inflation rates, everything is increased like almost 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
Material, labors, and so on, and especially that you're working on a really busy market, so it is not easy to find good contractors with good prices. But you've been on the market for a long time, I think. You've been on the market for a long time, so you get the best prices anyway.
I don't know. I try. I don't think the best price is always the best thing. I would rather just hire a contractor that I know is going to take care of me, stick to their timelines, get it done within budget. Because I've been through that before, where you hire the cheapest contractor, and cheaper is not always better. Cheap can often mean the project doesn't get done on time. Cheap today could mean that it's not cheap by the end of the project. Just because someone says they're going to charge you $100,000 for the job doesn't mean there's not going to be a cost creep as you move through the project. 100 can quickly turn into 2. Yeah. So like that with anything.
Yeah, 100%. You need to, because you're targeting anyway high profile tenants to get this rent. So you need to get the things done, and especially on your case, as you mentioned, on this building, you're paying 8%, so you need to close as soon as possible to close this bridge financing and go to regular financing. So are you planning to CHMC loan or regular loan when you close?
Plans to go to CMHC when it's done.
Yeah, it's achievable. I think on the Hamilton market rent, it's achievable to meet with their criteria. So I think the next question would be, how many units so far under management you have?
I think we're at, I don't know, somewhere between 35 and 40.
Okay. And most of them is a 6 unit for 4 units and triplex and duplexes, correct?
I would say anywhere from 3 to 6.
Yeah,
for the most part. We have one single family home that we bought years ago.
Okay. So in your case, I think you have an edge as a realtor, but your focus, I think, on the more the residential part. But in your case, as an investor working on the commercial side, what was the constant stream for you to bring deals? Or regular MLS, a relationship with commercial realtors, wholesaling? So can you highlight how you get constant stream of deals on your market, especially that your market is not easy to get, like, for example, VTBs, because you have competition, and like if you're in not even Windsor, but Peterborough, for example, you can find VTBs. Belleville, you can find VTBs, but in Hamilton, you can, but it's not common.
Yeah. Like on the building I was mentioning to you there, we had a VTB. I believe overall we put about 10% down.
Okay.
So I didn't have a lot of money into that one. That one was found, that was on the MLS. Now we bought another 6-unit building maybe about a year ago, also found on the MLS. Part of it, a big part of it is also just networking and who you know.
Yeah, 100%. So you've been on the market for a long time, I think. We started on 19 or 18 on the market as a realtor.
As a realtor, 2017.
17. Okay, yeah, been a long time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a good journey so far. So what is your next step? Yeah. So what is your next step?
So as a realtor, I'm building out a real estate team. So at this point we have 10 guys. We do both residential and investment focused real estate. This year we should probably do 150 million in volume.
Okay.
So my goal is just at this point to build that team out.
You have your own brokerage, I think.
It's not a brokerage; it's a real estate team.
It's a real estate team. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the actual goal on and as a realtor. What about the multifamily space? What is your goal on the next 3 years?
Honestly, nothing fancy. Just keep buying. As realtors, we became pretty lucky a couple of years ago for a couple different reasons. One, obviously, the value of homes has gone up significantly. So the value of homes goes up by 60%. My paycheck goes up by 60%, given I do the same volume of transactions.
Yeah.
So that's been very helpful. And secondly, we now have the ability to incorporate. So anything I earn goes into my corp and it's taxed at 12.2%, where before
30%.
we had the ability to do that. I was 40% on average, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm just working to build that corp out and buy real estate through that corp, because I need something to do with that money.
Okay. So in 5 years, you did a lot. So if I want to summarize, what is your strength on this 5-6 years? Because you started with studying, as you said, reading magazines and books and actual change and transition from Halifax and career to Ontario. What is your strength in your point of view?
Strengths?
Yeah.
I don't think my strengths have anything to do with real estate. I think I could have achieved what I did in any area I chose to focus on or was interested in. I would say the biggest strength I have is being discipline based. If I was to share my screen with you and show you my calendar, you'd be, it's pretty disgusting. It's extremely regimented. Every single minute is blocked.
Yeah.
Every single day. I read this great book many years ago. It's called The Miracle Morning by this guy. His name is Hal Elrod.
Miracle Morning.
And, one of the best books I've ever read in my life. And at that point in time, I think I was looking for a way to change my life. I was the guy that would wake up at 8 a.m., hop in the shower, rush to work, and be 10 minutes late every day. I needed a big change. So I started reading. In that book, it provides a simple framework called Savers. So every morning when you wake up, you go through the station, exercise, reading, and scribing, which is it's journaling. So I wake up at 4:45 every morning. I go through that process, meditate, affirmations, visualize where I want my life to be today, how I want my day to progress, how I want my week to progress, how I want my year to progress, where I want to be in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And then I go outside for a run with my kid and I journal. So like, I think
if you created a routine,
pretty much, yeah. And yeah, I think you win the morning, you win the day. I know 95% of the people don't run their morning like that, and they don't run their life the way I run my life. And that's my biggest strength, just being highly disciplined. Simple as that. Yeah.
If we're jumping to
planning,
I'm sorry.
I was going to say planning is very important too.
Yeah, it is.
Everything I've achieved in my life, almost to the T, was written down on paper 5 years ago. Yeah.
The discipline to have a clear plan on the next year or so, as you said, 5 years. This is even if it's small steps. Every day you're adding to your actual plan and trying to, as you mentioned, you was trying to escape the rat race. You didn't able to stay on this cubicle, and you did it in 2 years. And then now you have financial freedom. You can, I think, sell your stuff and like basically not work anymore because you have this financial freedom right now.
Yeah, I mean, if I sold anything, I'd probably never have to lift a finger again in my life.
Yeah.
Not ready to do that yet.
You're still young. How old are you?
32.
Okay. You're pretty young.
Yeah. So tomorrow, actually, I turn 33 tomorrow.
Okay, congrats.
Getting older.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think the key to life, you see, I'm looking at your shelf there, and I see books. We're in 2022. Sorry, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you well. Yeah.
Okay, I think you froze for a second.
No.
I was going to say we're in 2022. I'm a big thinker, but I'm not that big of a thinker at the end of the day. Anything I want to accomplish in this world has already been accomplished by someone else.
Yeah.
By hundreds of other people.
100%.
Thousands, millions. Unless you're like Elon Musk and you want to go to Mars, someone has done what you want to do in your future. Those someones have very likely written a book on the way they've done it.
Yeah.
So become obsessed with reading. That's really all I did. I read like an animal. My free time, I just read. Like I love devouring books and information. And if you do that, and you pair that newfound knowledge with action, you can go to the moon. That's the thing. How many people do you line up? 10 people. How many
like
of them
this.
Actually picked up a book and read in the last month? Probably one or two of them, maybe. How many read every single day? Probably none of them.
None of them.
How many?
Yeah. No, me personally, I read, but what you said is really important, that you didn't stop learning. You keep learning all of the time, even if it's not related to the same field you're doing. You're getting discipline, management, marketing, general aspect of life from reading. I understand what you're saying. It's but this is now became your actual interest and hobby. You change Netflix with an actual something beneficial for your career and your.
I don't watch TV. But look at it this way: say you have two people. One person doesn't read at all, or they read infrequently. And then you have the other person, they read 1 hour a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. That's 364 hours. Divide that by 24 hours in a day. They spend 15 days a year educating themselves.
Yeah.
You spend 15 days in 1 year educating yourself, and that might mean turning your car into a university on wheels. Maybe you do it before you go to bed or when you wake up. You're going to come out the other end of that year a different person. I guarantee it.
Yeah, yeah. As you said, you created this discipline, which is help you in everything, and you saw the results.
Yeah.
This was not you before. You created this routine recently, correct? On the last 4 or 5 years.
In 2016, I would say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it helped you to change the whole aspect of your life, I think, financially.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it, I love this. When I was in university doing my master's, we learned about this thing. I didn't learn about it. I was half asleep. R&D, research and development.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, R&D.
Yeah. But the concept came back into my world more recently. R&D. This time it doesn't stand for research and development. It's rip off and duplicate. So find the person that's achieved what you want to do.
Yeah.
Dissect the means in which they were able to achieve it.
Yeah.
And rip off and duplicate it. So the reading thing, I think I got that idea from, I read somewhere that Warren Buffett spends 8 hours a day reading. And then I watched a documentary on Bill Gates and saw him walking around with this big bag of books. And then I read a book on Elon Musk, and someone asked Elon Musk, how did you learn how to build a rocket? I read it in books. Success leaves clues. You just need to choose to look at those clues.
Basically, you don't have to invent the wheel. Just replicate everyone's success, and that's it. Follow step by step. I like that. To be honest, me personally, I did this. Like for me, for apartment buildings, Joe Furless' book was an actual starting point for me a couple of years back. And I was just doing a simple thing. I was just reading chapter by chapter, implementing every chapter. I don't wait to end the whole book. No, I'm going chapter by chapter, having your own platform, focusing on coaching. I did all of this in steps, and the result was great. That's why, as you said, why you invent the wheel? Everyone, like hundreds of thousands of people, millions maybe, did this. So why you have to be a thinker? Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah. The world's your oyster when you view it that way. You can learn about anything.
Yeah.
You can achieve anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Using that simple method. Yeah.
I want to jump to a little bit in your other way of career, which is the realtor part, about the update on Hamilton and how you think the market is right now, especially that you're expert on the market, and you're seeing that the whole market is a little bit slowing down because of as you mentioned, the interest rate, commercially and residentially. So how you see the market now?
And it's funny, like we're coming out the other end of the hottest market in history. And a lot of our clients, a lot of my friends and family at that time were saying, I want it to slow down. I wish there was more inventory on the market so I'd have more choice. I wish prices were lower. All of that's happened at this point. On average in Hamilton, prices have come down about 90 grand since the peak. Inventory's gone up significantly. You have choice, you have lower prices, but the buyers aren't there. You ever hear that quote from Warren Buffett? Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. It's very hard to operate that way in reality. So yeah, today the deals are there, the inventory's there, the prices are a lot more attractive, but there's a lot of fear in the market.
Oh, so they're saying that the bubble is going to burst and everything is going to collapse.
I think that's probably what's going through a lot of people's heads. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world at this point. You have war in Ukraine, you have inflation, you have interest rates, and fear often paralyzes people, and that seems to be what's happening. So 2 months ago, where we would sell a house I sold one 2 months ago for 400 grand over the asking price.
400
homes with 15 offers. Those days are gone. So for an investor, in my opinion, now it's the time to go. Now's not the time to be fearful. Now's the time to buy. Rates are still relatively low. Like rates, you hear a lot in the media about where interest rates are today and where they're going. Rates or inflation's gone up faster than it has in the past couple of decades. But if you look at it objectively, the interest rate today is still lower than it was pre-pandemic. It's a pretty damn good time to be borrowing. and
Yeah.
prices have
Especially with
gone down
inflation.
significantly. Yeah.
Especially with inflation, your money, nothing. If you have cash, you're screwed.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
right
don't
now,
know, my mentality,
yeah.
I always go, like, I want my income to go up every single year by a significant amount. And then I want all that money to get plowed into some appreciating asset.
Mhm.
And I'll look at real estate, I'll look at the stock market. That's it. I want deals. And I think real estate's heading in the right direction. I think as we move into the future, there'll be a lot more deals. Right now, as you come off the highs of February, seller expectations are still back in February. They need to come down, and that's going to happen over time. I think the media plays a big role in seller expectations. As the media begins to cover what's happening in the real estate market, people are going to understand that February prices aren't coming back and that they need to lower their expectations. At that point, there'll be a lot of deals in real estate. I think in the stock market, if you have an understanding of how to value a company, there are a lot of deals there also.
So you're saying that now we're in a buyer market, not a seller market anymore?
I think it's still a seller's market.
It's still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny, like, what is good and what is bad is based on comparison. So
makes sense. Yeah.
You have the seller today who could have sold their house for $100,000 more 2 months ago. That's terrible. They feel as though $100,000 was just taken
stolen.
from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's go back a year. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what if I told you that by doing absolutely nothing other than living in your home, you'll get a 20% year-over-year return on the value of this house if you just live there for 12 months?
Yes. Yeah.
They feel like they won the lottery, which they did. They won the lottery. They got the 20% bump, and they got $100,000 taken from their hands.
I have a duplex on Hamilton. I bought it on end of 19.
Yeah.
For $550.
Yeah.
Last year I appraised it on $850. So $300,000 on 2 years.
Okay.
So it's more than
Appraised
even
at 8.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
It's even
So
than more than 20%.
Selling,
I didn't sell it. I just appraised it. I didn't sell it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. It's I think it's in where it is, beside Main Street. Not Main Street, I'm sorry. I forgot the name of the area. Corman area.
Corca?
Yeah, it's like beside the anyway, it's appreciated really well. I see that the growth on Hamilton, Oshawa. I have another one in Oshawa, Guelph too. All of this market is appreciated really well, especially between 17, 18, and 19, and crazy on 20 and 21. So the appreciation was, as you mentioned, anyone is doing anything like this. Like, what is the comparison? What is the problem here? You're making 20% a year. It's
like everyone, if you bought in say 2018, you've doubled your money.
Yeah.
So I have this conversation with myself in my head. It's like, this hurts. Like, everything I own's going down in value.
Yeah.
But I quickly check myself and say, come on, like, you've doubled up in the last years. Like,
so your problem now is high expectation of sellers, correct?
Yeah, in the realtor business and as an investor too.
Yeah.
But those expectations are going to come down.
Especially with the interest rates and less offers and so on.
Mm-hmm. The buyers just aren't there. So sellers can keep their expectations up here all day long, but if they want to sell their house, they need to lower
come down. Yeah.
Just takes time because it's a painful thing for them.
Yeah. The other question I always love to ask people is about mentor and mentorship. Do you have a mentor right now, or did you have a mentor like help you on your career on multifamily, or you just focus on your career as a realtor and you're going with scaling your portfolio step by step?
Yeah, I do have a mentor. I think like we were talking about the books earlier and the R&D, the rip off and duplicate. Step one is to pick up a book and read it. We can make the excuse that we don't have someone to hold our hands through a process, but no, it's to our benefit to pick up a book and read it. That's what I did. And then I somehow got very lucky and attracted this mentor into my life. His name is Sandy McKay. He runs Breakthrough Real Estate Investing podcast. So he was
his name is Sam McKay.
Sandy McKay.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's got 250 apartments. He owns a brokerage, owns a big real estate team, owns a property management company. So
everything is house.
Yeah. Had the opportunity to hang out with him for a few years straight. And it was him and this other man by the name of Adrian Pinozo, who owns even more real estate than that. And I just watched them, observed them, asked them questions. That's how it all unfolded. It
was not paid coaching. It was just a regular relationship with an actual mentor. He's helping when you need, not an actual paid coaching.
I guess you could say that. Like, so they owned the real estate team I worked for at that time.
Oh, okay.
So every time I sold a house, they would make money. So yeah, I think in my first year working with them, I probably made them $350,000 just through selling houses. I think that it's a very important thing. You can't expect someone to help you if you're not adding value to them.
100%.
But if I guarantee you, if you show up and find a way to make your mentor $350,000, it's going to open their eyes, 100%. Get their attention. They're going to pour into you in a big way.
Yes, it's two ways. It's two way. It's not just one way you're taking and you're not. He sees something in your progress, and that's why he's helping, because it's beneficial for both of you.
Yeah, like if I want you to mentor me, I should find a way to add a ton of value to your life. 100%. If I could find a way to make you $500,000 this year, I'm sure you'd make time for me and teach me everything you know.
100%.
I think too often people like myself expect you to give your time without giving you something in return. 100%. Life doesn't work that way.
Yeah, 100%. So how the people can reach you on social media and follow your success?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Easiest way to reach me is by email. It's Mike@McKay, MICKAY, realtynetwork.com.
Great. Thanks a lot for your time today. And we're really happy to have you here today with us, and hope we can bring you in again to the show.
For sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.